Long ago, there was a time when life was simple yet difficult. It was an era when humans lived in close connection with nature. Every day's bread was earned through the labor of one's own hands, through the strength of one's own sweat. Far away from the city, in a lonely wilderness, lived an old man in a worn-out hut. His name was Rahim. He had grown very old. The weight of time had bent his back. His hands trembled and his eyesight had become blurry. Every wrinkle on his face seemed to tell the story of a long struggle. There were silent witnesses to the ups and downs of his life. Rahim had no children. He had no close relatives. His only companion was an old axe with which he earned his livelihood. And he had an unwavering faith in his Lord. He firmly believed in the words of Allah, where it is said, "And whoever fears Allah, He will make for him a way out and will provide for him from sources he could never imagine." This verse was a profound truth woven into every breath of his life. It was the source of comfort in every moment of hardship. Every morning after Fajr prayer, he would take his old axe and go into the forest. He cut dry branches and gathered firewood. Then he carried the load on his back to the city market to sell. In this way, his days passed, monotonous but peaceful. His modest income was enough to sustain his life. He had no complaints. There was only deep gratitude to Allah. But that year, winter arrived with all its cruelty. The nights became long and bitterly cold. The icy wind entered through the cracks of his hut, shaking him to the bone. One night, Rahim felt that his body was no longer cooperating. Due to old age and the severity of the cold, his strength was nearly gone. He no longer had the ability to carry heavy loads. A deep worry formed in his heart. How would his life continue? How would his sustenance come? He opened his old wooden basket. Inside were the savings of his entire life, some copper coins and a few silver ones. Each coin carried the story of his hardship and sacrifice. This small savings was his last hope. After thinking for a long time, Rahim made a decision. At dawn, he would go to the livestock market and buy a donkey that could carry his load and help him earn a living. He remembered a blessed hadith of the Messenger of Allah, peace and blessings be upon him, which gave him new courage. If you were to rely upon Allah with true reliance, He would provide for you as He provides for the birds. They go out in the morning hungry and return in the evening full. This hadith lit a light in his heart. It taught him to trust Allah even more. The next morning, after Fajr prayer, Rahim set out in search of a new chapter in his life. In his hand was his familiar wooden staff, on his body a torn but clean garment, and in his pocket his entire life's savings. With each step, he felt a mixture of hope and fear. He did not know what fate awaited him, but his heart was filled with deep faith in Allah. He silently prayed for guidance. As he walked toward the market, the sun began to rise in the eastern sky. The gentle morning breeze touched his frail body, yet his heart carried firm determination. After a long walk, he reached the market when the sun was already high. The scene was completely different there. People shouting, animals calling out, the noise of bargaining everywhere. It was a lively environment. In rows upon rows stood horses, camels, donkeys, and other animals. Each looked healthy, strong, and expensive. Wealthy traders had brought their finest animals. Buyers negotiated according to their means. Rahim went from one seller to another, asking the price of each animal. But every time he heard the same answer, words that struck his heart like a blow. "Old man, even your lifetime savings are not enough to buy these animals." Some laughed at him, some mocked him, others looked at him with contempt. Their eyes held ridicule, their words carried scorn. Rahim lowered his head. He felt that perhaps his effort was in vain. Perhaps it would be better to return home. In this vast market, there seemed to be no place for a poor old man like him. His savings were nothing compared to the prices of these powerful animals. For a moment, despair crept into his heart, but immediately he restored his trust in Allah. He knew that Allah never disappoints his servants. Just when Rahim was about to give up, his eyes fell upon a corner of the market. There stood a mule, completely alone. No crowd surrounded it. No one even looked at it. The mule was thin and weak, and one of its legs bore a deep wound. It looked as though it would not live much longer. But Rahim did not fail to notice something unusual in the mule's eyes. There was a strange calmness there. No fear, no anger, only steadfast patience. It seemed as if the mule had surrendered itself to its fate, content with the will of Allah. Rahim slowly approached the mule. He felt an unfamiliar pull in his heart. The mule looked at him.